Shalom, everyone. This is Elder Marshall. Our teaching today is 2, a way God speaks to us. Before we get started, those who are new to the channel, we are not affiliated with any camps, church, or self-proclaimed Israelite groups that call themselves teachers of the Bible. These religious and Christianity groups teach the Bible carnally with their own understanding and not out of the sovereign King James Bible with the Apocrypha. We here at King James Bible University stand alone because we worship the God of Israel, which is a spirit. So we worship him in spirit and in truth. Translating the word spiritually, a spirit, God, don't write a carnal book. Therefore, we go throughout the Bible how it commands of us precept upon precept. Another point I would like to share, although my teaching is on a number, please don't pertain it to a basic number of the world, because we do not practice numerology or Scientology. We are against such teachings because the Bible states in 1 Timothy 6 through 3, 6, 3 through 5, sorry about that, and 20. 1 Timothy 6, 3 through 5, and 20. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of the Creator, Jesus, salvation, Christ, the Anointed One, and the doctrine which is according to godliness, sorry about that. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, rallying, evil, surmising. 5. Perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. Now we're going to go to 20. Okay, here we go. Verse 20. Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babbling, and oppositions of science falsely so called. We clearly see the Spirit of God telling Timothy, don't have any fellowship or relationship with people that's involved in those practices. We have been lied to for so long through the years that everything we were taught of the Bible was so wrong and carnal, listening to preachers giving their own carnal interpretations. And if you are not in a church listening to them, you decide to open the Bible yourselves and believe you can read and understand it yourself, saying God will give me the understanding. He will let me know. That's foolishness. Let's look at it. Let's go to 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles 15 and 3. 2 Chronicles 15 and 3. Okay, here we go. 2 Chronicles 15 and 3. Now, for a long season, Israel hath been without the true God, and without a teaching priest, and without law. Someone has to teach you. You can't do it alone with your own understanding, he said. So let's take a look at Jeremiah 3:15. Jeremiah 3:15. go. Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. From there, we're going to go to Ephesians. Excuse me. Here we go. Ephesians 4 and 11. Chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers. Yeah, from there we're going to go to Romans 10 and 14. Romans 10 and 14. Okay, here we go. Romans 10 and 14 once again. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? We learn every day from the teachers here at King James Bible University because they teach the truth, following the principles of the sovereign King James Bible, denouncing all carnal teachings. Isaiah 28 and 10. So Isaiah 28, and we're going to go to verse 10. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, here I go. Okay. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. I find it amazing and profound how the Spirit of God uses a function of numbers throughout the Bible to communicate with us in some scenarios. This teaching we are looking at to and how the Spirit of God communicates with us. Yes, I said function, not looking at it literally. The Spirit of God communicates with us in many different ways through the Bible, therefore guiding us to understanding how to walk in his righteous path by faith, to inherit his kingdom by walking the true of righteousness. The Spirit of God may show us the way of comparison, which is comparing one way to another way. He may also show us before using ways in an opposite fashion, another way is through correction. Another way is by direction, using us and choosing the right way, the right path. Sometimes by names, which is way by people or animals. Therefore, showing the relation of two. Whichever way he relates to us, we see our rebellion and disobedience towards the Spirit of God. Throughout the Bible, I myself, before coming into the truth, it blew my mind when I understood the function, how two functions, without even mentioning the number itself, taught by our Master Hebraist, our pastor, Michael Johnson. We here at King James Bible University, also known as the Lost Sheep of Israel, the elders, deacons, evangelists, and brothers that teach don't read the Sovereign King James Bible with the Apocrypha carnally, because we are learning daily how the Bible functions spiritually, because we serve a spiritual God, as states in John 4 and 24. John 4, chapter 4, and we're going to look at verse 24. Okay, here we go. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. We cannot see God nor the spirit that is within us or around us, but we know it's there by the things that were created for us. Therefore, we walk by faith, but still yet you have to put in work by doing what the Spirit of God says to inherit the kingdom of God. Rebecca 2 and 4. Rebecca 2 and 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. 2nd Ezra 9 and 7. 2nd Ezra 9 and 7. Come on. 2nd Ezra, and we're going to pick it up at chapter 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. From there, we're going to go to 1st Ezra. 1st Ezra, and we're going to pick it up at chapter 13. I just wrote that in kind of sloppy. Hold up. That's second Ezra 13. Here we go. Second Ezra 13. And we're going to look at verse 23. Second Ezra 13:23. He that shall endure the peril in that time have kept himself. They that be fallen into danger, as such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. From there, we're going to James 2. James 2, verses 14 and 17. What doeth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? It's the question. We're going to go to verse 17 from there. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. So you see, we need both attributes. One don't work without the other, just as our forefather Abraham did in Genesis 12. Genesis 12 and 1 through 4. Genesis 12, 1 through 4. Now the Spirit of God has said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I have showed thee. I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And in thee shall all nations of the earth be blessed. 4. So Abram departed, as the Lord Spirit of God had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from out of Haran. Because our forefathers who walked in obedience and the path of righteousness, a covenant was made with them, with the Spirit of God. Let's look at it. Covenant, agreement. This is our meaning. It's an agreement, a promise, a testament, contract, bond. A covenant is a binding agreement or promise between two parties. That's interesting. And it is a principal understanding in the Bible. Covenant involve God making promises to his people Israel, and his people agreeing to follow him and obedient to his commandments according to the agreement. The covenant was made with our forefathers, starting with Abraham, whose name means father of many nations. Okay, from there we're going to go to Genesis 17. Genesis 17, 1 and 2. Genesis 17, 1 and 2, then we're going to jump down to 5. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Spirit of God appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall thy way. Thy name, thy way, meaning thy way, shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. Okay, from there, we're going to go to 2nd Esdras. And that's going to be 2nd Esdras 3, 13 through 15. 2nd Esdras chapter 3, 13 through 15. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will. And madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake the seed. Another one of our forefathers. They go into Genesis 17. Okay, 1 second. Here we go. Genesis 17. Chapter 17. And we're going to be at verse 19. Genesis 17 and 19. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. The covenant continues with Jacob. There we're going to go to Genesis chapter 25. Genesis 25 and 23. And 23. Genesis. And the Lord, the Spirit of God, said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Here we see two nations were being born, but one nation will be chosen. So we're going to go to Genesis 28. Okay, Genesis 28, and then we're going to do 10, 12, 14 through 15, and 20 through 21. Here we go. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran, 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels, the messengers of God, ascending and descending on it. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thy seed, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. 15. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places, whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. 20. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on, once a covering, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Spirit of God be my God, my guide. From there, we're going to go to Genesis 35. Genesis 35, and it's going to be 9 through 11. Okay, we go Genesis 35, 9 through 11. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Pandan Aram, and blessed him, gave him wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We're going to go down 10 and 11. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God has said unto him, I am God Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. Our forefathers were the ministers for Israel. Okay. From there, we're going to go to, I wrote this so bad I can't even see it. Give me 1 second. Let me see, I believe it's Isaiah. We're going to find out 1 second. Isaiah 61. And we're going to look for verses 6 and 8 through 9. But ye shall be named the priest of the Spirit of God. Men shall call you the minister of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall. 1 second. and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. I want to read that again. 61 and 6. But ye shall be named the priests of the Spirit of God. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. Okay, now we're going to go down to 8 and 9. For I, the Spirit of God, love justice, doctrines and teachings, promised doctrines and teaching. I hate robbery for burnt offerings, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed of the Spirit of God hath blessed. All right, from there we're going to go to First Chronicles. Okay, that's going to be chapter 16 in First Chronicles and verse 13. 16 down to 13. O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. Moses, the word of truth, brought the covenant that the Spirit of God spoke to the children of Israel, that was formed from the beginning with our forefathers, which they agreed upon, because remember, a covenant can only be made with two parties. So we're going to go from there. We're going to go to Exodus 19. Exodus 19. Exodus 19. And we're going to pick it up at verse 5 through 8. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Spirit of God hath spoken, we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Spirit of God. There we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus, and that's going to be verses chapter 17 and 12, verse 12. Chapter 17 and verse 12. Chapter 17, Sirach 17, and I'm going to go to verse 12 with it. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments, doctrines, and teachings. Okay, 1 second. My paper's a little mixed up. Trying to find this verse. Give me 1 second. It's not listed. Okay, here we go. We're going to do Acts. And it's going to be 2 and 39. I don't know what's up with my writing. Acts 2. Acts 2 and verse 39. For the promise is unto you and to your children and to all that are afar off, even as many as the Creator, our God, shall call. Two as the meaning of together. We will see how it also functions as two people becoming one. Also, how the Spirit of God is joined with Israel as a marriage. We're going to look at Genesis 2 and 24. Genesis chapter 2 and going to verse 24. Genesis 2 and 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And there we're going to go to Jeremiah 3:14. Jeremiah 3 and going to verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Spirit of God, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. From there, we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 7, and we're going to hit 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Creator, let not the wife depart from the husband. We are not to depart from our fleshly husband or the Spirit of God, our spiritual husband. Tobit. We're going to Tobit 4, and we're going to pick it up at verse 12. Tobit 4 and 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father, thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred. And we blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. This shows we have to stay married under the marriage covenant between our nation. Therefore, it will be a marriage together unto the Spirit of God. 2 also means double portion. Let's look at what double portion is and how some of our forefathers received a double portion. Let's go to Psalms 119. Here we go, Psalms 119. And we're going to go to verse 57 to 64. 57 through 64. Okay, here we go. Chet, thou art my portion, O Spirit of God. I have said that I would keep thy words. 58. Entreated thy favor with my whole heart. Be merciful upon me according to thy word. 59. I thought on my ways and turned my feet unto the testimonies, unto thy testimonies. I'm going to go down to 60 to 63. 60 through 63. Make haste and delay not to keep thy commandments. 61. The bands of the wicked have robbed me, but I have not forgotten thy law. 62. At midnight I will rise to give thanks unto thee because of thy righteous judgments. And 63. I am a companion of all them that fear thee, and of them that keep thy precepts. The earth, O Spirit of God, is full of thy mercies. Teach me thy statutes. We see the Spirit of God's portion is his word. Which is his laws, statutes, commandments, his doctrines, and teachings. We have Joseph, who received a double portion from Israel. Elisha asking Elijah for a double portion. Let's look at Genesis 48. Okay, here we are. We're at Genesis 48, 21 through 22. Once again, Genesis 48, 21 through 22. Here we go. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorites with my sword, weapon of war, doctrine of truth, meaning of that sword, and with my bow, meaning power. From there, we're going to go to 2 Kings. Second Kings 2, and we're going to look for verse 9. Second Kings 2 and 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. Here we see Elisha asking for more wisdom of the Spirit of God. The two stories shows they will be filled with more knowledge of the Spirit of God. Let's go back to Isaiah 61 and 7. Isaiah 61 and 7. And we're going to go to verse 7. and 7. For your shame ye shall have double, and for your confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land, their body, they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. Another meaning of two is difference between comparing two different acts that are opposites to each other, where the Spirit of God warns us such rebellion when Israel, we, decide to follow a path of sin than following the path of truth. Let's look at Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Okay, here we go. Deuteronomy 30, chapter 30 and verse 19. Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings, and choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Comparing two different acts that are opposites to each other. Next verse, we go on to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 22. Ezekiel 22 and verse 26. Her priests have violated my laws and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they shown difference between the unclean and clean, and have hid their eyes, their understanding from my Sabbaths, and I am profane, defiled among them. We'll go to Isaiah 5 and 20. Isaiah 5, and we're going to go to verse 20. Isaiah 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. From there, we're going to go to Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61 and 3. Isaiah 61 and 3. To appoint unto them that mourn, meaning grieve, in Zion, to give unto them beauty, righteousness, the law, for ashes, meaning works of the flesh, the oil, anointment of joy, the blessings, wisdom, knowledge, for mourning, sorrow, the garment, the covering of praise for the spirit of heaviness, meaning burden, that they might be called trees, meaning elders of righteousness, the planting, establishing, preparing of the Spirit of God, that he might be glorified. Romans 6 and 13. Romans 6 and verse 13. Okay, once again, Romans 6 and verse 13. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. And from there, we're going to go to 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians 6, chapter 6, and we're going to hit verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communication hath light with darkness? That's pretty straightforward. Israel has to be on the same path with the Spirit of God, following his laws, statutes, and commandments. Two also means differing measures. That is diverse doctrine. It's the Spirit of God telling us we can't worship him and mixing another doctrine with his word. He's against that. It's like you come from the churches or camps or whatever you learn there, you coming to mix it with his truth. Let's look at it. We're going to look at Proverbs 20 and 10. Proverbs 20 and 10. Chapter 20. We're going to go down to verse 10. Okay, here we go. Divers weights and measures, meaning diverse. Measuring, meaning doctrines. Both of them are alike, abomination to the law. Let's go from there to Hebrews 13 and 9. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, finally. Okay, we're going Hebrews chapter 13, and we're going to look at verse 9. Hebrews 13 and 9. Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, bread, doctrines, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. From there, we're going to go to 2 also represents the way of similitudes. So we know the Spirit of God relates to us by showing us an image, parable, likeness, comparison, figure, which is a representation being compared to. Let's look at Deuteronomy 14 and 8. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 8. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 8. And the swine, unclean, which are the lying teachers, because it divideth the hoof, living practices that have different doctrines. Yet cheweth not the cud, consider not visions and dreams. It is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat, shall not learn of their flesh unrighteousness, nor touch their dead carcass, their dead flesh, their lifestyle. This is an image of an animal used for preachers. This is an image of an animal used for preachers that teach doctrines of lies, which is contrary to the Spirit of God. Therefore, it's unclean to you. You shouldn't partake in it. Let's look at Romans 5, 14 through 15 and 19. Romans 5. Okay, here we go. Romans 5. And we want verses 14 through 15 and 19. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned, after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come, but not as the offense. So also is the free gift. For if though the offense of many may be dead, many more the grace of God, and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Jesus Christ, salvation, the anointed one, hath abounded unto many. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the disobedience of one shall many be made righteous. I read 19. Let me show it to you. I'll read 19 again. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. Got carried away with that verse. That was nice. Okay, 1 Corinthians 10, 21. 1 Corinthians 10, and we're going to look for verse 21. Ye cannot learn the cup, divine doctrine, teachings of the Lord Creator, and the cup doctrine, teachings of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Creator's table, abundance, which is his peace and truth, and the table of abundance, which is false teachings and lies of devils. Pretty straightforward. From there, we're going to go. These verses show we don't want the knowledge of the Spirit of God. Let's look at Jeremiah. Take a look at Jeremiah. And we're going to look at chapter 2 and verse 13. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, that's knowledge, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns, afflicted, wounded bodies that can hold no water, no knowledge. Water meaning knowledge. Okay, so from there, we're going to go to 2nd Ezra 3. Second Ezra, chapter 3, and we're going to go to 21, 22. Second Ezra 3, chapter 3, verses 21 through 22. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. 22. Thus infirmities, sickness, weakness. Infirmities meaning sickness, weakness. Thus infirmities, sickness, and weakness was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of people with the malignity, wickedness, evil of the root, the beginnings, so that the good departed away and the evil abode still. The Spirit of God, truth, cuts through all false doctrine. Let's take a look at Hebrews. Hebrews 4. And 12. One second. Yeah, I know where we are. Okay, here we go. Hebrews 4 and 12. Chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick, and we know it's powerful. For the word of God is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, two understandings. Sword meaning two understandings. Divide the doctrine of truth, piercing even the dividing asunder, separate of soul, meaning body, and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents desire, purpose of the heart. There, we're going to go to Ephesians 4, and we're going to look at verse 2. Ephesians. Ephesians 4 and 2. Wait up, I got this written backwards too. That's Ephesians 4 and 29. The 9 didn't come out. Okay. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Okay, now we're coming to my last verses. We're going to do Matthew. Okay, we're going to go to Matthew 18, 16 through 20. Matthew 18. And we're going to do verses 16 through 20. Okay, here we go. Matthew 16. No, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Matthew 18, 16 through 20. But if you will hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if we shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man, as a publican. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them, my Father. It shall be done for them of my Father, which is in heaven. And we're going down to 20, the last one. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, okay, name meaning way, there am I in the midst of them. Thank you very much. This is Elder Marshall. For questions, please contact me at rmarshall3000@gmail.com. Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Thank you.